Hello aspirants, I welcome you all to Editorial Analysis of Shankar IAS Academy. Today's date is 28th of March 2025. Displayed here are the list of articles that we are going to discuss from the mains perspective. In the first article, we'll be discussing about automotive industry. This is because Make in India initiative has successfully completed 10 years, and that is why PIB has made an article based on this. And the second article will be discussing about bureaucracy and fair administration. We had an article in Indian Express. So without any delay, let us get into the article discussion. Now look at this article taken from PIB Press Information Bureau. Now this article has made news because a very important initiative, Make in India initiative, it has completed 10 years and we are successfully moving ahead with this particular initiative. So from the mains perspective, we have to learn about the initiative, what are all the strengths of it, what are all the weaknesses and how it can be rectified. Here the syllabus has been mentioned. It can be asked in the GS paper 3 under economy and in the GS paper 2 under government policies and initiatives for development of various sectors. Now we shall start with India's automotive industry. See, this particular automotive industry started to grow only after LPG reforms. LPG is nothing but liberalization, privatization and globalization. So these reforms happened in 1991 and we brought in two major change. Firstly, delicensing. See, priorly to establish a particular company itself, government's surveillance was too high. So the corruptions also was too high and the procedural delays was there very frequently. And that is why a lot of companies could not establish and a lot of FDI was not there. And we brought in these two major changes. We delicensed, meaning the government's surveillance has been declined. Even today you have to get license, but the interference of government has been reduced. Then 100% FDI through automatic route. So automatic route is a special category under which FDI can be brought in and into our country without any cap and without any lot of delays. So these two things we have done, and 36 billion in FDI over the past 4 years has been arrived to our country. Now the globalization, it had played a very important role because when we connected to different countries and different regions through trade, we actually made an opportunity to invite all the global leaders to invest in our country. For example, Hyundai, they have expanded up to 4 billion USD. Mercedes-Benz, they pledged up to 360 million USD. Toyota, 2.3 billion USD. So they are also increasing their capacity. That happened only after this 1991 initiative. And when we talk about this India's automotive industry, they support lot of employment. They provide lot of employment opportunity. Annual report of Ministry of Heavy Industries, they tell that 30 million jobs are supported. This includes all the people who are enrolled in the higher ranks to the lowest ranks. Secondly, they add a lot of value. See, when we talk about manufacturing, they add the real value to our country. So when we talk about the agricultural sector, they provide raw materials and they offer quarterly real value. And we talk about the service sector, we are booming in service sector, but people employed in the service sector is very minimal. So there is no real growth. There is a growth, but it is not contributed to lot of employment to different sector of people in our country. So when we talk about the manufacturing, they provide a lot of economic value. They account for 6% of India's GDP. When we talk about production, 2 million vehicles in 1991 to 92, and from 2 to we are producing 28 million when it comes to last year. So the turnover is 240 billion USD. Just imagine how much amount of value the automotive industry is providing. Then we talk about exports, 4.5 million units in financial year 24. And when we talk about Make in India initiative, see, this initiative have the objective in its name itself, Make in India. So you have to we have to produce in India and we have to export it. So it is a very basic thing. Instead of importing all the products from abroad, instead of importing all the automotives from abroad, we have to engage the domestic production. We have to boost the domestic production, and thereby it will contribute to Make in India. So this is not relevant only to one sector. A lot of combinations of sector have to work together to make this initiative possible. So this will bring in localization and self-reliance. We don't have to rely upon the uh, foreign country. Secondly, development of manufacturing hub. Through this we get a lot of employment. Infrastructure also will develop, and we have innovation, encourages development of EV technology, battery manufacturing and charging infrastructure, and it brings a leverage China plus one strategy. This China plus one strategy, it is frequently in news. This China plus one strategy is nothing but a strategy that is followed by the Western world to exclude China when it comes to investment opportunities. So instead of investing every fund in China, Western countries, they are looking for opportunities to invest in different other countries. So this will bring in China's dominance in among the world, and this is a very important thing. And it promotes electronic vehicle market. See, currently India is focusing a lot on electronic vehicle market, and we are aspiring to become a manufacturing hub. Now we shall see quickly go through certain government schemes when it comes to automotive industry. So we have FAME India scheme phase 2. We are currently in phase 2. This focuses on e-vehicle. We have production linked incentive. Production linked incentive is the amount of production you make year on year, you will get incentive based on the production. So we have that for automobile and auto component industry, and we have it for advanced chemical cells, which is nothing but the hydrogen cell. Then we have hydrogen cell, and then we have PM E-Drive scheme. This also provides incentive for e-buses that is manufactured locally in our country. E-bus Seva Payments Security Mechanism (PSM) scheme is there, and scheme for promoting of manufacturing of electronic passenger cars in India. So these also comes to public transportation, investing uh, in public transportation, especially e-vehicles. Now here comes the question, what will be the way ahead? So we have to increase the focus on hydrogen cell. So hydrogen cell, the only byproduct of this hydrogen cell is water vapor. So we have to bring in lot of research and development, and we have to physically invest in cell vehicles and biofuels. We have to attract lot of FDI in this particular sector, and for that we have to even more liberalize the procedures involved. Thirdly, we have to strengthen local battery manufacturing and supply chain. And fourthly, we have to increase production of automatic transitions. And finally, we have to expand EV charging infrastructure. It is not frequently available. We have to build infrastructure. So these are all very important facts that you have to remember when it comes to our automotive industry. So here is a mains question. Based on the discussion, you can write an answer and post it in the comment section. India's automobile industry is a key driver of economic growth, employment and technological innovation. Analyze. So it is a 50-marker question for 250 words. So here you can give an introduction about automobile industry, when the growth happened. Then in the main part of your answer, you can write about the economic growth that provided by the industry, then the amount of employment offered, then how it supports technological innovation. However, what are all the challenges is there, and what will be the way ahead. So you can write this and post it in the comment section so that your peers can also review it. So with these learned points, now let us move on to the next news article discussion. Now look at this article from Indian Express newspaper. This article talks about the struggle or the trust issues with public when it comes to bureaucracy. So here comes the question whether the doubt on fair administration still persists in public or not. So from the mains perspective, we have to learn about bureaucrats, as well as what are the challenges faced by them and how it can be rectified. Before that, we shall quickly go through the syllabus. See, this particular topic, it can be asked under GS paper 2 under governance, and it even can be asked under GS paper 4 under ethics. So we shall start with what is bureaucracy. See, it is nothing but a system of administration which is characterized by formal procedures, hierarchical structures, as well as complex rules. And they play a very important role when it comes to administration because they are all the real executives. So they actually implement what is there in the paper, which has been passed by the government itself, and they act as a bridge between the people and the representatives. So they are the means to attain the true democracy in our country. So this is very basic thing that you have to remember about bureaucracy. Even in prelims, one time we had a question regarding bureaucracy, so make a note of it. Now we shall see who are all the bureaucrats. See, there are two different categories. One is central government's bureaucrats and state government's bureaucrats. All the Indian civil services, all India Indian civil services like IPS, IAS, and IRS, Indian Administrative Service, Indian Police Service, and Indian Revenue Service. So those kinds of 20 plus post. So those kinds of all India services will be coming under the central government's bureaucracy. When we talk about the state government's bureaucracy, they also appoint certain civil servants, which is wholly managed by the state governments themselves. So these are all the persons who constitute Indian bureaucracy. Now moving on, we shall see about the strengths of Indian bureaucracy. So the first thing is they provide continuity in governance and administration. So as I said, they are all the actual real executives, because people, they will be electing bureaucrats. People, they will be electing their representatives, and the representatives, they will be making law based on consensus. They will be passing orders as well as rules. So these orders and rules will actually be implemented by the bureaucrats, and these bureaucrats, they will be in the service until they retire, which means they are responsible, or they will be taking care of the continuity of the policies even if the government changes. So this is the very important thing that you have to remember. Secondly, delivery of effective governance. So being, they are the pillars of decentralized governance. So they bring in a lot of effective governance because they ask for the issues from the public directly. So the accessibility to the a minister, a particular minister, might be difficult, but you can directly access any public government office and you can get your problems rectified as soon as possible. So that is why we are telling they deliver effective governance. Thirdly, they check on the power of elected officials. So for example, there are a lot of statutory bodies as well as constitutional bodies that bring in a check and balances. Even if the elected official, they make mistakes, they can be rectified through Indian bureaucracy. Then they bring in a lot of ethical bureaucracy. See, the thing is, they have a lot of empathy and a lot of enthusiasm to work and serve people. So this ethical perspective of bureaucracy will not only bring in effective governance, but also help in sustenance of the true democracy. And finally, they will prioritize public welfare. As I said, since there is an ethical dimension to our civil services, there is a lot of chances and there is a lot of opportunities for ensuring public welfare. Now, there are certain weaknesses when it comes to Indian bureaucracy. Firstly, lack of accountability and transparency. So, since a lot of things has been implemented by Indian bureaucrats, there is transparency issue, and when there is no proper transparency, there is no accountability as well. So this is the first important thing. Secondly, there is delays in justice as well as red tapeism. Red tapeism is a term used for sticking to the procedures irrespective of a case. So based on cases, we will be altering the rules and regulations, right? So instead of that, if a person is sticking to rules and regulations too hard, then the thing will be getting delayed, which will lead to delay in justice. So this administrative method is a very important issue when it comes to Indian bureaucracy. Thirdly, abuse of power. There are a lot of extrajudicial killings. Extrajudicial killings are nothing but killings that happen outside the judiciary or without any approval of after a proper trial. So this is what we call as extrajudicial killings and the custodial deaths. So there are a lot of abuse of power when it comes to Indian bureaucracy. Erosion of trust, especially corruption and bureaucratic apathy. So due to corruption, people, they lack their trust in the system. Secondly, when there is bureaucratic apathy, meaning not sensitive to the people's need and necessity, when that is there, then the whole idea of bureaucracy actually fails. So this is the fourth important weakness. Finally, bureaucratic culture of hierarchy and seniority is a very big issue. And here, this leads to the sluggish administration, which is delay in justice. So, here comes the question, what can be done? So, the first important thing is we have to strengthen public trust. So, how we can do that? We have to bring in transparency, and through that we have to bring in accountability. So for transparency we have to bring in lot of dissemination apps, and through that we can make people aware of what is happening in the system, and we can involve lot of stakeholders. Through that transparency will be brought in. So when transparency is there, accountability will be there without even asking. So these two things can be done, and we have to bring in lot of grievance redressal, and through this we can bring down the bureaucratic apathy, the character of it, and we have to bring in lot of checks and balances even if corruption is happening. So currently the corruption is very minimal because a lot of things has brought in through the online sources. So we have to even build lot of digital infrastructure so that the people who is in the rural sector also, they can also be accessible to the services provided by the government. Secondly, we have to reform police. This can be done to reduce the custodial deaths as well as the procedural delays and red tapeism, and we have to make people centric service. So to ensure this, the bureaucrats, they can be trained, and capacity building training can be given to the bureaucrats, so that bureaucrats will be aware of not only implementing the orders given by the government but also doing the needful to the people. And finally, we have to embody ethical leadership, and this will bring down all the weaknesses that we saw in the bureaucracy. So this will reform the bureaucracy itself. So based on the content we have discussed so far, I have framed a question for you. Let me read out the question. Bureaucracy is often criticized for being rigid and ineffective, yet it remains an indispensable pillar of governance. Discuss. So you have to write an answer for 15 marker and 250 words. You can write an answer and post it in the comment section so that we can review your answer as well as your peers can review it. So with this, we came to the end of the news article discussion. If you like the video, hit like, do comment, and don't forget to subscribe to Shankar IAS Academy YouTube channel. Now thank you so much for listening.